Okay. So good afternoon all. Whether my voice is audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So today we will start with the numericals or the problems based on the bending stress calculation. So in the last lecture we have studied all the important formulas which are required to solve the numericals based on calculation of the bending stresses. That means if you go through the formula for the bending stress formula, that is m upon I is equal to sigma upon y is equal to E upon R. In that particular formula, the bending moment calculation, that is capital M, then moment of inertia calculation, which is called as the capital I, or it is also indicated by the capital I, and the second one, the distance of CG, which is called as the Y or the Y bar. So the calculation of Y, calculation of MI, and the calculation of capital M, that is bending moment. If I have to calculate this much parameters, so the important formulas which are required to go for that particular calculation we have discussed in the last lecture related to the moment of inertia and the I calculation, I calculation and the Y bar calculation, or Y calculation for the commonly used sections like rectangle section, square section, hollow rectangle section, hollow square section, then solid circular section, and the hollow section. In addition to that, whatever the another common sections are there, which is called as the symmetrical I section, unsymmetrical I section, and the T section. For that also, we have discussed about the moment of inertia calculation and the Y bar calculation. And by using that particular formulas only, now today we will solve the numericals based on the bending stress calculations. So we will start with some basic numericals related to the rectangle or the square sections, and then we will move to the calculation of bending stresses for I section, unsymmetrical I section, and the T sections. So this is the problem number 1 in front of you. So I will read the statement, then we will generate the figure as per the statements given, and then we will solve the numericals. So a steel cantilever beam of span 4 meter subjected to the point load of 2 kilonewton at free end. So a one steel cantilever beam is given. Cantilever means one end is fixed, another end is free. The span means length of the beam is given 4 meter, and that cantilever beam is subjected to the point load of 2 kilonewton.
వాడు మన బువ్వ తింటాడు మనసు ఆగలేక చెప్తే నువ్వు వానికంటావు నాకంటావు ఇది ఇప్పుడు మన బువ్వ తింటే ఇప్పుడు మన బువ్వ తింటాడు అని చెప్తే నువ్వు నాకు చెప్పేదంత అయినావా అంటే ఏం మాట్లాడదు అంటనే పోనీ వాడు వచ్చి మంచిగా ఒక బుద్ధ తింటాడు వాడు.
Please mute your side.
చూసుకుంటా కూర్చుంటాడు.
Shrikant Kohli, please mute your side. Okay. So whatever the 2 kilonewton force is applied, that 2 kilonewton force is applied at the free end, full stop. The cross sectional area of beam is, or the cross section of the beam is 50 mm wide and 75 mm deep. 50 mm wide, whatever the cross sectional area is given, wide and deep means it may be your rectangular cross section, because 50 mm wide means B is given, and 75 mm deep means small d or capital D is given. That means whatever the section is given, it is a rectangular section, full stop. Calculate maximum bending stress means we have to calculate the sigma and draw the stress distribution diagram. So what is that? Here the cantilever beam is given, its length is 4 meter, the beam is subjected to the point load of 2 kilonewton applied at the free end. Whatever the cross sectional area of the beam is there, it is having the rectangular cross section, because 50 mm wide means capital B or small b is given, and 75 mm deep means capital D or small d is given, and we have to calculate the bending stress. Okay, now the problem is given here. First of all, we have to identify the type of beam and the type of load. So as per the statement, I will draw the figure first. As per the statement, I will draw the figure. So cantilever beam is given, one end is fixed, another end is free. So this is the cantilever beam. The length of that particular beam is total 4 meter. 4 meter length is there. It is subjected to the point load of 2 kilonewton. Maybe this is point A, this is point B. Okay, so this is the figure, that is cantilever beam, and their cross sectional area is also given, like rectangular cross section. Its wide means 50 mm, width and 75 mm depth. So these are the parameters given. That means capital B, or we can consider small b, is equal to 50 mm, and capital D or small d, I can consider it as a 75 mm. Okay, then length of the beam is given. Length of beam is equal to 4 meter is equal to 4000 mm. W, point load. Point load is also given. How much? 2 kilonewton. So 2 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. And what we have to calculate? We have to calculate sigma is equal to sigma B. Sigma is also called as a bending stress. Sigma B is also called as a bending stress. So this is the unknown parameter. Now, for that particular bending stress calculation, we are having the formula, that is M upon I is equal to sigma upon Y is equal to E upon R. Okay, so this is the bending stress formula. But out of that, this E and R, here it is not required for the further calculation. Therefore, I can take only M upon I is equal to sigma upon Y, where sigma is equal to sigma B. Okay, now here my requirement is that I have to calculate the sigma. But to calculate that sigma, first of all, we have to calculate the capital M as a bending moment. We have to calculate the capital I as a moment of inertia, and also whatever the rectangular section is given, I have to calculate this Y. Y means it represents the CG distance of that particular rectangular section. This Y is also called as a Y bar. Please keep in mind, Y is also called as a Y bar, and that Y bar represents the distance of CG of that particular rectangular section. Now, first of all, I will calculate the M as per condition given by, as per condition given for cantilever beam, as per condition given for cantilever beam. So what if I have to calculate the M cantilever beam with point load at free end? This is one standard case. Capital M, it is not given in the statement, but in the last lecture we have discussed about the 5 standard cases in which simply supported beam with point load, simply supported beam with UDL. Similarly, cantilever beam with point load and the cantilever beam with UDL. So these are the 4 standard cases, and having 4 different formulas to calculate the bending moment as a capital M. Now we are having the condition cantilever beam with point load at the free end. Then what is the M formula? Please tell me, what is the M formula?
WL.
L.
Capital M is equal to W into L. Okay. Now put the value of W. Here all the parameters we have to take in Newton, all the lengths we have to take in mm. So W is equal to 2 into 10 raised to 3. Length of the beam 4 meter. So converted in mm, that is 4000. Therefore, value of M is equal to how much?
8 into 10 raised to 6.
8 into 10 raised to 6. Its unit you have to write Newton mm. So this is the M we have calculated for the cantilever beam subjected to the point load at the free end. Then we have to calculate the I, which is called as a moment of inertia is equal to I. Which type of section is there? Rectangular section is there. What is the formula to calculate the I for the rectangular section?
BD cube by 12.
BD cube by 12. So capital B, capital D cube divided by 12 is equal to small b, small d cube divided by 12. You can take any type of parameters. So capital B means 50. Depth is given 75 cube divided by 12. Therefore, I is equal to, tell me the value of moment of inertia. What is the moment of inertia?
1.75 into 10 raised to 6.
1.75 into 10 raised to 6. Unit you have to write down mm raised to 4. Unit of moment of inertia, mm raised to 4. So I is calculated now. Y is equal to, or y bar is equal to, y is equal to, tell me from this particular figure, where the CG of that particular rectangular section? What is the CG of that particular rectangular section?
75 divided by 2.
75 divided by 2. That means exactly at the center you will get the CG of that particular section. So vertical distance is given as a capital D or small d. So I can write capital D or small d divided by 2. So y is equal to 75 divided by 2. Therefore capital Y is equal to 37.5 mm. Okay, so this is why we have calculated. Now we have calculated moment, bending moment as a capital M. We have calculated the moment of inertia as a capital I. We have calculated the distance of CG in the form of Y and Y bar. Now put all that particular values in our bending stress formula. That is M upon I is equal to sigma upon Y. So moment we have calculated 8 into 10 raised to 6 divided by I, 1.75 into 10 raised to 6 is equal to sigma. We have to calculate Y is equal to 37.5. Therefore, sigma is equal to sigma B is equal to, tell me value. Yes, what is the bending stress?
170.66.
171.42. 171.42 Newton per mm square. So this is the bending stress induced in that particular cantilever beam. Please do the calculation. 171.42. Some of you got the answer in the form of 170 point something or 171 point something. Near about this 171, that answers will be accepted. So this is the bending stress. This is the bending stress which is developed in that particular beam. Now please tell me, in case of a cantilever beam, here the cross sectional is given as a rectangular section. Now please tell me, above neutral axis whether tension is there or compression is there for the cantilever beam. Above neutral axis, this
Tension.
above neutral axis, tension or compression? Tension is there. And below neutral axis, compression is there. That means above the neutral axis, whatever the bending stress is developed, it is considered as a tensile. And below the neutral axis or below the center line, whatever the bending stress is developed, that stress is called as a compressive bending stress. Now we have to draw the stress distribution diagram. So how it will be drawn? Let's see here. We have to continue this particular rectangular section as it is. Their projections we have to consider as it is in front of that particular rectangular section. And we have to draw the bending stress distribution diagram. How to draw? First of all, draw a one vertical line. Okay, that vertical line. Above neutral axis, the tension is there, and the tensile stress is always represented at the right side of the vertical line. Please keep in mind, whatever the tensile bending stress is developed, this tensile bending stress will be developed at the right side of this particular vertical line. Okay, and the compressive stress will be developed at the left side of this particular vertical line. Therefore, here sigma T is equal to 171.42 Newton per mm square. Sigma B means tensile, and at the bottom side, sigma C is equal to 171.42 Newton per mm square. And then you have to join this particular two lines as a inclined line. And this particular diagram is called as a bending stress distribution diagram. From that particular figure, we can easily say that the bending stress is maximum at the top of the beam. The bending stress is maximum at the bottom of the beam. But at the neutral axis, you can see here one center point is there. at this particular center point, the bending stress is equal to 0. Therefore, always the bending stress is always maximum at the top of the beam. It is also maximum at the bottom of the beam, but at the center point or at the neutral axis, the bending stress is equal to 0. Now here at the top portion, the bending stress is represented by the sigma t, because for the cantilever beam above neutral axis, it is subjected to tension, and for the cantilever beam below neutral axis, the portion is subjected to compression. Therefore, the sigma t always represented at the right side of the vertical line. So whatever the vertical line I have drawn in this particular stress distribution diagram, the sigma t is represented at the right side and the sigma c is represented at the left side. So even the beam is simply supported beam or even beam is cantilever beam, sigma t should be represented at the right side only. It may be present at the top side or it may be present at the bottom side. जरी sigma t हा न्यूट्रल ऍक्सिसच्या वरच्या बाजूला असू द्या किंवा खालच्या बाजूला असू द्या, तो त्या व्हर्टिकल लाईनच्या राईट साइडलाच आपल्याला काय करायचं आहे, इंडिकेट करायचं आहे. सिमिलरली, इवन युअर कॉम्प्रेसिव्ह स्ट्रेस is present above the neutral axis or below the neutral axis, it will be represented or it is to be represented at the left side of the vertical line. So this is the first problem based on the cantilever beam, where the rectangular section is given, and by using that particular rectangular section and the type of beam, we have calculated the bending stress. It is 171.42 Newton per mm square. Okay, so this is the first problem. Now, by taking the reference of the first problem, one more problem is there for the cantilever beam. So problem number 2. So read the statement carefully. That is, a cantilever beam of uniform rectangular cross section. A cantilever beam of uniform rectangular cross section of 150 mm by 300 mm. 150 mm by 300 means if this particular multiplying factor is given, always you can consider it as a B into D. 150 by 300 means B into D. So B we have to consider as a 150 and D we have to consider as a 300. Maximum times in 90 to 95% problems are there where the depth is always maximum as compared to the width. Maximum types of problems, the depth is always maximum as compared to the B. Therefore, whenever this particular multiplying factor is given 150 by 300 means we have to consider it as a B into D. So rectangular section is given and that beam carries UDL of 20 kilonewton per meter. The beam is subjected to the UDL on entire span over its span of 2 meter. Length of the beam is 2 meter and on entire span 20 kilonewton per meter UDL is applied, and calculate maximum bending stress. This is the requirement. So once again, whatever the given, the type of beam, first of all I will draw the type of beam. Cantilever beam is given, means one end is fixed, another end is free, and the beam is subjected to the UDL on entire span and its magnitude is 20 kilonewton per meter. This is point A, this is point B. The total length of the span is given 2 meter. Okay, then section, the cross section of that particular beam is given. Once again, rectangular section is given. So 150 mm as a B and 300 mm as a D. Okay, so B is equal to 150 mm, D, small d, 300 mm, then length 2 meter is equal to 2000 mm. W is given 20 kilonewton per meter. Here in case of a bending stress calculation, don't convert this UDL into point load. Here it is not required. In shear force and bending moment diagram in the last chapter, we have converted that particular UDL into the point load for SF calculation and BM calculation. But here whatever that W is given as a UDL, don't convert that UDL into point load. If the UDL is given in kilonewton per meter, only convert that UDL in Newton per mm. So 20 kilonewton, let us see, 20 kilonewton per meter. So 20 into 10 raised to 3, that is kilonewton is converted into Newton, multiply by 10 raised to 3. At the bottom side meter is there, so we have to multiply by 10 raised to 3. So 10 raised to 3, 10 raised to 3, it will get cancelled. You will get the W as a 20 Newton per mm. And we have to calculate sigma is equal to sigma B, which is called as a bending stress. Okay. Now, once again, let us see, we are having the formula M upon I is equal to sigma upon Y is equal to E upon R. But E upon R combination is not useful. So I can take M upon I is equal to sigma upon Y. Then, as per condition given for cantilever beam, as per condition given for the cantilever beam, if I have to calculate the bending moment, because here if I have to calculate the sigma, first of all capital M we have to calculate, capital I we have to calculate, and we have to calculate that Y distance. Now please tell me, as per the standard case, cantilever beam subjected to the UDL on entire span, what is the M formula?
WL square by 2.
Yes, WL square by 2, correct. W into L square divided by 2. So W we have calculated here. Kilonewton per meter value we have converted in Newton mm. That value will get same, but we have to convert it. बघा 20 kilonewton per meter ह्याचं जर Newton mm मध्ये convert केलं तर तुम्हाला value काय मिळाले? 20 Newton per mm. So 20 into L square is there. Don't take only L. The length is given 2 meter. Therefore here 2000 square. Sometimes some students are making the mistake to making the square of that particular length. Therefore, please check that particular M formula correctly and accordingly put the values. Then you can get, or you will get the capital M. What is the value of capital M? Yes, 40 into 10 raised to 6. Please check others. 40 into 10 raised to 6. Mm raised to 4. Please check your answers. Do the calculations in your notebook. How M is calculated. Then rectangular section is given. Therefore, once again, capital I is equal to BD cube by 12. So value of B 150. Value of D 300 cube divided by 12. Yes. After calculation of M as a bending moment, calculate the moment of inertia for the rectangular section. Yes, 337.5 into 10 raised to 6. Please check your answer. 337.5 into 10 raised to 6. Sorry, here unit of the bending moment is Newton mm. And here unit of the moment of inertia as a mm raised to 4. Okay. Moment of inertia, simple formula for the rectangular section, BD cube by 12. Okay, then Y bar is equal to Y is equal to vertical distance. In case of a rectangular section, this is your neutral axis. Means we have to decide the position of neutral axis. Initially, we don't have the position of the neutral axis. So from the bottom side, the position of neutral axis is equal to 150 mm, means exactly at the center. That means 300 divided by 2 is equal to D divided by 2. We are calculating the vertical distance. That's why we have taken the Y bar and the Y. If we are calculating the horizontal distance, then we can take the X or X bar. But here we are calculating vertical distance. Therefore, we have taken Y, and always we are representing that particular Y as a vertical direction. Therefore, capital Y is equal to 150 mm. So now the M is calculated from the standard case. Moment of inertia we have calculated by using the rectangular formula. Y or Y bar also we have calculated. Now use our main formula once again. m upon I is equal to sigma upon y. So m 40 into 10 raised to 6, I 337.5 into 10 raised to 6, sigma we have to calculate, and y is equal to 150. Therefore, sigma is equal to sigma b is equal to, yes, 17.77 Newton per mm square. Please check your answers. Yes, 17.77 Newton per mm square. Try to represent the units also. For the units, the separate marks are there. And this sigma means your sigma is equal to, sigma b is equal to maximum bending stress. Because in the statement they have asked, find out the maximum bending stress. And whatever value we have calculated for the sigma, same value will be considered as a maximum bending stress is equal to 17.77 Newton per mm square. This is about the maximum bending stress calculation. Okay. I hope everyone has done the calculations and you got the final answer in the form of sigma b is equal to 17.77 Newton per mm square. Okay. Now, in this particular problem, the stress distribution diagram is not asked, but then also we will try to draw that particular stress distribution diagram in front of that rectangular section. So what is the first requirement? We have to take the projection lines of the rectangular section in front of it. Then you have to draw the one vertical line. Okay. Now here you will get the maximum bending stress as a 17.77, only one bending stress. That means 17.77, this bending stress is developed above the neutral axis. Also, same bending stress will be developed below the neutral axis. But here once again cantilever beam is there. So upper portion is tension, lower portion is compression. Therefore, sigma T can be represented at the right side and sigma C is represented at the left side of the vertical line. And I will draw one inclined line. That means above neutral axis, the tensile force is there or the tensile bending stress is there, and below the neutral axis, compressive bending stress is there. Therefore, sigma T is equal to sigma is equal to 17.77, and the below that sigma C is equal to sigma is equal to 17.77 Newton per mm square. And at the center point, once again you can check the bending stress is equal to 0. Therefore, once again the bending stress will be maximum at the top and bottom of the beam, and it is 0 at the neutral axis. And this is the stress distribution diagram. So this particular diagram is called as a bending stress distribution diagram for the cantilever beam. Okay, so these are the very simple problems based on the rectangular section where the type of beam is mentioned along with the type of load. The first problem we have solved, in that cantilever beam is there subjected to the point load at the free end. And the second problem we have solved, in which again the cantilever beam is there where it is subjected to UDL on entire span. In both the problems, the rectangular sections are given. So BD cube by 12, it is applicable. Y or Y bar is to be calculated by using the formula D by 2, that is vertical distance divided by 2. But the formula for the bending moment calculation, capital M calculation, it is changing because the type of load is changing. Type of beam is same, but type of load is different. In the first problem, point load is there. In the second problem, UDL is there. Therefore, in the first problem, we have taken capital M is equal to W into L. And in the second problem, we have taken capital M as a WL square divided by 2. So this particular M formula plays very important role. If you make the mistake while calculating the capital M, your bending stress calculation will be incorrect. Therefore, use the respective formula for the respective type of beam and respective loading only and solve that particular numerical. So these are very simple numericals based on the rectangular sections. Now, we'll solve the another problems for the common user sections like I section, T section, or maybe symmetrical I section, unsymmetrical I section, and the T section. So this is a problem in front of you. That is, the statement is given and from that particular statement we have to draw, or we have to find out the bending stress induced in that particular beam. Now this is the problem number 3. First of all, read the statement carefully, understand what that particular statement, and then we will go for the further calculation. A cast iron bracket subjected to bending, a cast iron bracket subjected to bending has cross section of I. Here it is given. Whatever the cast iron bracket is there, it is having the cross sectional area in the form of I, formed with unequal flanges. The dimensions of the section shown in the figure. So whatever the I section is there, that I section is having the unequal flanges, means tell me that whether that I section is the symmetrical I section or unsymmetrical I section.
Unsymmetrical.
Unsymmetrical, because whatever horizontal rectangle is present at the top side and the bottom side, that horizontal top rectangle is called as a upper flange. Bottom horizontal rectangle is called as a lower flange, and vertical rectangle is called as a wave. But here in the statement, the type of section is given as a capital I, no problem. But whatever the flanges are there, that flanges are unequal, means the type of section is given as a unsymmetrical I section, and their figure is already given. Okay, I will draw that particular figure. Find position of neutral axis. Find position of neutral axis means we have to calculate the y bar. Calculation of position of neutral axis means we have to calculate the y bar. Okay, then moment of inertia about neutral axis, that means we have to calculate I, capital I, for the unsymmetrical I section. And if maximum BM is 40 meganewton mm, here if you read this particular statement, in this particular statement, type of beam, type of load, it is not mentioned. Simply supported beam subjected to the point load, or simply supported beam subjected to the UDL, like that statement is not mentioned. But directly maximum bending moment is 40 meganewton meter, means directly M value is given. Therefore they have not mentioned the type of beam and the type of load. But in the last two problems, the cantilever beam with point load at the free end and cantilever beam with UDL, it is mentioned. And by using that, we have used the formula M, that is M is equal to W into L, and M is equal to WL square by 2. But here not mentioned. Why? Bending moment is directly given. Okay. Now, first of all, I will write down all the given parameters. So here the given parameters means I section is given, that is unsymmetrical. Bending moment, that is BM, is equal to capital M is equal to 40 meganewton mm. But I have to convert that particular value in Newton mm. How to convert meganewton to Newton? What is the multiplying factor?
10 raised to 6.
10 raised to 6. Please keep in mind, 1 meganewton is equal to 10 raised to 6 Newton. Just take this particular important thing is in your notebook. 1 meganewton is equal to 10 raised to 6 Newton. Here meganewton mm, already it is given in mm, so need not require to go for the conversion from meter to mm, because already given mm. Therefore 40 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. And they have asked to find out maximum bending stress means sigma or sigma b, we have to calculate. Okay, so these are the given parameters. Now whatever the I section is given of unequal flanges, their figure is also given. So I will draw that particular figure. So let us see here. This is the unsymmetrical I section. Okay, so this is the unsymmetrical I section, and its dimensions are given for the top flange. 200 mm. Okay, the thickness of that particular flange is given 50 mm. This is called as a upper flange. Then bottom flange, it is having the horizontal distance as a 130 mm, and the thickness is once again 50 mm. This is called as a lower flange. Please draw this particular figure in your notebook also. Then width of this particular web, this vertical rectangle, is called as a width. Its width is given, so once again 50 mm as the horizontal distance, and the vertical length of this particular web, that is vertical rectangle, it's given as a 200 mm. Okay, so this is the figure. So the bottom rectangle, it is called as a section number 1. Okay, then vertical rectangle, it is called as a section number 2, and this is the third rectangle, which is called as a section number 3. Okay, so these are the figures. So this is the rectangle, this is the center line of the section number 3. This is the section line or center line of the section number 1. Similarly, this is the center line for the section number 2. So this is the figure. Unsymmetrical eye section, unequal flanges. If you check the dimensions of upper flange and the lower flange, for the bottom flange 130 by 50 mm, and for the top flange 200 by 50 mm. Thickness is same, but the horizontal distance are different. So this is the figure. So now this is the unsymmetrical section. So for that particular unsymmetrical section, first of all, we have to calculate the y bar. We have to calculate the y bar means we have to represent the position of neutral axis. If this will be your symmetrical section, then directly I can take the formula y bar is equal to capital D divided by 2. What is the total capital D? This 200 plus this 50 mm at the top and the bottom 50 mm. That means total depth is 300 mm. Directly I can take the 300 divided by 2. But this is the unsymmetrical eye section, so it is not possible to take capital D divided by 2. So we have to calculate y bar is equal to a1 y1 plus a2 y2 plus a3 y3 divided by a1 plus a2 plus a3. So first of all, calculate the a1 distance from figure. Let us see. From figure, a1 is equal to, what is the a1 value? Please tell me the cross-sectional area of a1. Yes, 130 into 50 is equal to 6,500 mm square. Okay. Similarly, calculate the A2. A2 means only we have to think about the vertical rectangle. Their horizontal distance is 50 and vertical distance is 200. So 50 into 200, 10,000 mm square. Okay. Then A3. Top flange, horizontal distance is 200 into vertical distance 50. So the value of A3 is equal to, once again, 10,000 mm square. So A1, A2, A3 we have calculated. Now in front of that A1, A2, A3, calculate Y1 distance. So let us see. For Y1 calculation, this is your reference line. Just for our understanding, this is your reference line. Okay. So the CG of the section number 1, it is concentrated at the center of the section number 1. So Y1 I have to calculate, Y2 I have to calculate, and Y3 I have to calculate. Let us see. From the reference line, what is the CG of the section number 1? I have represented on the figure. What is the CG of the section number 1? Y1 is equal to, yes, 50 divided by 2. Look at to the figure. I have represented Y1 distance on the figure. So 50 divided by 2 means 25 mm. Okay, then I will represent the y2 distance. Y2 distance means we have to think about the section number 2 only. What is the center point of the section number 2? But total height of the section number 2. What is the height of the section number 2?
200.
200 divided by 2
Is
plus 50.
200 divided by 2 plus this 50 I have to take as it is, कारण रेफरन्स लाईन मधलं आणि सेक्शन 2 मधलं हे डिस्टन्स 50 mm आपल्याला कन्सिडर करावं लागणार आहे. So you will get y2 is equal to 150 mm. Similarly y3, what is the vertical distance of the y3 is
50 divided by 2 plus 250.
50 divided by 2 plus 200 plus 50. Bottom distances I have to take as it is. बघा 50 by 2, 200 divided by 2, 50 by 2. म्हणजे आपण फक्त त्या सेक्शनचाच विचार केलेला आहे. खालचे डिस्टन्स आपण आहेशी ऍड केलेले आहेत. सेक्शन 1 ला तर खालचं डिस्टन्स काहीच नाही, कारण रेफरन्स लाईन मधलं आणि त्या सीजी मधलं डिस्टन्स डायरेक्ट y1 50 डिवाइड बाय 2. सेकंड सेक्शनचं व्हर्टिकल डिस्टन्स किती आहे 200 आहे, तर 200 डिवाइड बाय 2 म्हणजे इथपर्यंत मिळणार आहे आपल्याला. त्याच्या खालचं डिस्टन्स 50 mm आपल्याला ऍड करावं लागणार. सिमिलरली फॉर द थर्ड सेक्शन their vertical distance is only 50 mm, therefore 50 divided by 2, remaining distance 200 plus 50, that is 275 mm. Okay, so y1, y2, y3 calculated. Now use our formula y bar calculation. Y bar is equal to a1 y1 plus a2 y2 plus a3 y3 divided by a1 plus a2 plus a3. So put all the values. A1 we have calculated 6500 into 25 plus in bracket a2 we have calculated 10,000 into y2 we have calculated 150 plus a3 once again 10,000 and y3 is equal to 275 divided by a1 6500 plus a2 10,000 plus a3 once again 8,000, and represent or tell me the y bar distance from the bottom line. Whatever this y bar we are calculating, that y bar distance we have to represent on the figure from the bottom side only. बघा जो काही y bar आपल्याला इथून मिळतोय तो y bar त्या खालच्या रेफरन्स लाईन पासूनच आपल्याला इंडिकेट करायचा आहे का, तर y1 y2 आणि y3 डिस्टन्सेस हे आपण खालच्या बॉटम लाईन पासून घेतलेले आहेत. त्यामुळे तुम्हाला जर y बार रिप्रेझेंट करायचं असेल तर दॅट y बार वी हॅव टू रिप्रेझेंट फ्रॉम दी बॉटम साइड ओनली. This is y3. So what is the y bar? Please tell me. Y bar.
166.51.
Y bar is equal to 166.50. Yes, correct. 166.50 mm from bottom side. Please check here from bottom side. So here I will draw the neutral axis now. Let us see. This is the neutral axis. We are representing the neutral axis means I am calculating the position of neutral axis from the bottom side. So this is called as a neutral axis, and position of that particular neutral axis from the bottom side means y bar. So this is called as a y bar is equal to 166.50 mm. Then what is the y bar distance from the top side? Please tell me. What is the total distance? What is the total depth of this particular I section?
300 mm.
300 mm. 300 minus 166.50. So here y bar distance 300 minus 166.50 is equal to 133.5 mm. In front of that, write down from top side. So initially, whatever y bar I have calculated 166.50, that is represented from the bottom side. Means I have represented the position of neutral axis. Please check on the figure. Position of neutral axis and y2 distance, it is totally different. Figure मध्ये तुम्हाला समजते न्यूट्रल ऍक्सिस ची पोझिशन ही बरोबर सेंटरला नाही. बघा न्यूट्रल ऍक्सिसच्या खालच्या बाजूचं डिस्टन्स आले 166.50 आणि वरच्या बाजूचं डिस्टन्स आले 133.5 mm. Means it is not exactly at the center. If the section is symmetrical, then you will get exactly at the center. But here the position of neutral axis is not exactly at the center. Now y bar is calculated. The y bar from the top side, y bar from the bottom side, both are calculated. Now I have to calculate capital I. Capital I is equal to Ixx is equal to Ixx1 plus Ixx2 plus Ixx3. Because the section is unsymmetrical. Now, first of all, find out Ixx1 is equal to, we are having the formula BD cube by 12 plus A1 in bracket y bar minus y1 bracket square. Now, please tell me what is the B of section number 1 and what is the D of section number 1? What is the width of section number 1? I am calculating Ixx1 only. So we have to take all the dimensions for this section number 1 only. What is the B from the figure?
130 mm.
Yes, 130.
130.
What is the D?
50 mm.
50.
So 130 into 50 cube divided by 12. Area already we have calculated 6,500 in bracket. Now here y bar means which y bar I have to take? I have to take 166.50 or 133.5.
165.
166.50. Please keep in mind. What is the first y bar we have calculated? That y bar we have to put in the Ixx1, Ixx2 and Ixx3. Because here I am subtracting y1. आणि y1 काढताना आपण कुठल्या बाजूने घेतले? खालच्या बाजूने y1 किती आहे? From bottom side, what is the distance of y2? From bottom side, what is the distance of y3? Therefore, this y bar also we have to take from the bottom side to the neutral axis. So 166.50 minus y1 is equal to 25 bracket square. Calculate Ixx1. Do the calculation.
131.49 into 10 raised to 6.
Yes, how much?
131.49.
131.49 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. Please check, others, please check your answers. This calculation plays very important role. Ixx1, Ixx2 and Ixx3. Please check your answer. Yes, 131.49 into 10 raised to 6. Those who have calculated the Ixx1, they can calculate Ixx2 and Ixx3. So Ixx1 formula is given, do the calculation. Similarly, Ixx2 is equal to capital BD cube by 12 plus A2 in bracket y bar minus y2 bracket square. So capital B, please tell me, capital B of section number 2.
50.
50 horizontal distance. Capital B means horizontal distance and capital D means vertical distance. For section 2, capital B is equal to 50. Capital D is equal to 200 divided by 2 plus A2 10,000. Y bar again constant from the bottom side 160.50. Y2 distance we have calculated 150 bracket square. Therefore, Ixx2. And then find out Ixx3. Again, the formula is same. Structure of the formula for this same. BD cube by 12 plus A3 in bracket y bar minus y3 bracket square. So for the third section, B is equal to 200, D is equal to 50, cube divided by 12. A3 distance is, or area is equal to 10,000, y bar 166.50 minus y3 275 bracket square. Therefore, Ixx3 is equal to. Please tell me the value of Ixx2.
36.05 into 10 raised to 6.
Yes, 30.
6.05.
33.05 into 10 raised to 6 raised to 4.
36.05.
36.05.
36. Okay, 36.05. Please check your answers, others. Please check 36.05 into 10 raised to 6. This is Ixx2. Please do the calculations. 36.05 into 10 raised to 6. This is Ixx2 value. Yes, 36.05 into 10 raised to 6 raised to 4. Then what is the value of Ixx3? Those who have calculated Ixx1, Ixx2. Tell me the value of Ixx3.
119.8.
Yes,
119.8.
119.8
8 into 10 raised to 6.
into 10 raised to 6 raised to 4. Please check your Ixx1. Yes, 199 or 119. 119.8 into 10 raised to 6. Correct. Ixx1 is equal to 131.49 into 10 raised to 6. Ixx2 is equal to 199 or 119. Please check. 199 or 119. Some of you are representing the answer 199.80. One 119.80 or 80. Yes, 119.80 into 10 raised to 6. 10 raised to 6 is very important. Yes, 119.80. Now make the addition. Total I is equal to Ixx is equal to Ixx1 plus Ixx2 plus Ixx3. Therefore, capital I is equal to 131.49 into 10 raised to 6. This is the Ixx1 plus 36.05 into 10 raised to 6 Ixx2 plus 119.80 into 10 raised to 6. What is the value of I? Total moment of inertia, capital I is equal to
287.34 into 10 raised to 6.
287.34 into 10 raised to 6.
287.34 into 10 raised to 6.
into 10 raised to 6 raised to 4. Please check your answers, others. 287.34 into 10 raised to 6 raised to 4. Calculation of Ixx1, Ixx2 and Ixx3, and at the end we have to make the addition of Ixx1, Ixx2 and Ixx3. And now this represents total I or Ixx. It represents the moment of inertia at neutral axis. Ixx1 will be applicable for section 1, Ixx2 will be applicable for section 2, and Ixx3 will be applicable for section 3. But addition of all, it represents the moment of inertia at neutral axis. Now we have calculated all the parameters. Capital M directly given in the statement, 40 meganewton mm, we have converted in Newton mm. Y bar distance also we have calculated. Okay, moment of inertia also we have calculated. Now first, stress due to Y bar is equal to Y is equal to 166.50 mm. For both the Y bar distances, we have to calculate the stress value, and from that we have to identify that which is the maximum bending stress. So first Y bar we have calculated 166.50 mm. So we are having the formula M upon I is equal to sigma upon Y. So M 14 to 10 raised to 6, I 287.34 into 10 raised to 6 Sigma is the bending stress. Y means Y bar 166.50. Therefore, sigma is equal to, please tell me the first sigma due to the Y bar 166.50 mm. Yes, how much? 23.17. Yes, 23.17 Newton per mm square. This is the bending stress which is developed below the neutral axis. Why we can say below the neutral axis? Because Y bar we have taken from bottom side to the neutral axis. म्हणजे हा 23.7 हा स्ट्रेस कुठे इंड्यूस झालेला आहे? न्यूट्रल ऍक्सिसच्या खालच्या बाजूला. सिमिलरली second condition, stress due to Y bar is equal to Y is equal to 133.5 mm. Okay, for that once again formula, m upon I is equal to sigma upon Y. M will be constant 40 into 10 raised to 6. I will be constant 287.34 into 10 raised to 6 divided by is equal to sigma is the unknown parameter, Y is equal to Y bar means 133.5, which is represented above the neutral axis. And by using the Y bar 133.5, what is the value of sigma? Yes, 18.58. 18.58 Newton per mm square. So you will get the two bending stress equation values. One by using the Y bar 166.50 and another bending stress 18.50 by using the Y bar 133.5. And now if we compare both the values, both the sigmas to each other, the 23.17, this is the maximum bending stress induced in the beam. Therefore, maximum bending stress in cast iron bracket, that is sigma. Therefore, sigma is equal to 23.17 Newton per mm square. So like that answer you have to write down at the end, because you got the two different values. Sigma is equal to 23.17 and sigma is equal to 18.58. But if you look at your statement, what they have asked, determine maximum bending stress. But here you got the two values, and if I will compare both the values to each other, after the comparison, it can easily we can say that 23.17, this is the maximum value as compared to the 18.58, means the maximum bending stress will be developed below the neutral axis. You can check in this particular figure. The maximum bending stress will be developed below the neutral axis. And for this, if I will draw the stress distribution diagram. So this is the vertical line. Now here the type of beam is not mentioned, whether beam is simply supported or whether beam is cantilever. Therefore, here it is not possible to define where above neutral axis tension or compression is there or below neutral axis tension or compression is there, because the type of beam is not mentioned. But then also I can draw the stress distribution diagram. You can see at the bottom side, at the top side, this is one sigma. This is the sigma. And if I will join, so this is the stress distribution diagram. The bending stress is 0 at the neutral axis. The top sigma is equal to, above neutral axis sigma is equal to 18.58 Newton per mm square, which is calculated by using the 133.5, and the bottom sigma is equal to 23.17 Newton per mm square, which is calculated by using the 166.50. But we cannot say that whether 23 or this 18.50 is tension or compression, because the type of beam is not mentioned. If here the type of beam is mentioned, for example, simply supported beam. So in case of a simply supported beam, the above portion is subjected to the compression and the below portion is subjected to the tension. But here the type of beam is not mentioned, therefore it is not possible to indicate which stress is tensile and which stress is compressive. But easily we can draw the stress distribution diagram like this. So from this particular, we can say that the stress is maximum at the top side. Also, it is maximum at the bottom side, but at the center, the stress is equal to 0. Stress means bending stress is equal to 0. So like that, we have to solve the numericals for the unsymmetrical I section. So what we have done, initially I have calculated A1, A2, A3, Y1, Y2, Y3, that all the distances I have represented on the figure also. Okay. Then I have calculated Y bar distance by using the big formula because the section is unsymmetrical. And whatever the Y bar is calculated, it is represented on the figure means I have represented the position of neutral axis from the bottom side. जो पहिला वाय बार आपण काढतोय तो वाय बार आपल्याला खालच्या बाजूपासूनच रिप्रेझेंट करावा लागतो का, तर Y1, Y2 आणि Y3 डिस्टन्स स्पेस आपण कुठल्या बाजूने रिप्रेझेंट केले, खालच्या रेफरन्स लाईन पासून इंडिकेट केले. त्यामुळे पहिला आलेला वाय बार हा तुम्हाला खालच्या लाईन पासूनच काय करावा लागतोय, इंडिकेट करावा लागतोय. मग वरचा पण वाय बार तुम्ही कसं करणार, टोटल डेप्थ मायनस आलेला वाय बार म्हणजे 133.5. Then I have calculated Ixx1, Ixx2, Ixx3 for section 1, 2, 3, and I have made the addition. And stress due to 166.5 I have calculated, stress due to 133.5 I have calculated, and after the comparison I can say that 23.70 Newton per mm square. This is the maximum stress induced in that particular cast iron bracket. Okay, so this is the problem for the unsymmetrical I section. Okay, so have you got this particular numerical? How to solve it? Yes. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, with this, today we will stop here. Again, some problems are there. We will take in the next lectures.